Welcome back, and once again from my little blanket fort we are playing out the Hawk 200 RDA, and this time around we have two sky flashes with a pulse Doppler radar, which actually means it's somewhat useful in a head-on, but the increase of battle rating and the removal of a gun means that it is an incredibly unflexible aircraft that has very little place in ROB whatsoever. The airframe is as shit as the one that is 2 BR jumps lower. And while removing a gun of an airframe that isn't really reliant on its airframe anyway, and it's all about keeping people at arm's length and making sure that people don't actually get within gun range of you, you still miss it quite often. You have to play this thing like a supportive kind of fighter, and I mean this in the sense that it's a terrible plane and you have to play around your team, and this means that you have to go to a little bit of altitude and you have to go and start third-partying people, and third-partying with missiles is often fine, but very often when you start third-partying they will start flaring because they are flaring your teammate, and the AIM-9Ls do not have IRCCM, you do not have a gun, and the radar missiles aren't all that fantastic. The sky flashes are incredibly inconsistent, they're easy to corkscrew, they have incredibly little range, and of course at 11.3 it's a decent radar missile, but it leaves a lot to be desired, and you have to just come in and hope that your teammates basically give you the kills for free, or that you can engage people that aren't really paying attention. The best way to get kills in this thing is by clearing the 6 of people when they aren't aware of that you are there. If the enemy is shooting at your friendly, it's actually the best target to go for, because they are very likely looking at the missiles, looking at the gun and at your friendly, because they are busy trying to get a kill and they forget the defense aspect, and that is how you are going to be collecting kills. The issue is that this plane is so incredibly slow that by the time you get to the battle, the game has already been decided. And just like right here, we are a little bit too close for guns. We don't have any missiles, so what do? We switch to Fox 4, and we are just gonna be trying to clean this guy up by getting incredibly close and touching him inappropriately, just like your uncle did when you were 7. We pitch up straight underneath him, we pitch straight up, and we give him a case of some bad herpes, which turns his crotch into a fiery mess. And that's the severe. Kill number 3. And before you argue that I just died on camera, no I didn't, this thing is an unmanned drone. Unfortunately for you, if you choose to play this thing for yourself as well, every game is gonna start with 6 to 7 minutes of absolutely nothing. And in order to alleviate the problem of wanting to J out at the start of every match, we are gonna be playing a different game today that is hosting an event with an iconic franchise that you really don't want to miss out on. I'm of course talking about Raid Shadow Legends, and next to this event they are also reintroducing the Ultimate Dead Knight. Yes, he's back, not the awkward regular Dead Knight. This is the ultimate one that is of course a legendary rarity. The Ultimate Dead Knight is one of the best additions to your lineup that you can have, whether you want to be competitive or if you want to just be more casual. I only play this on my phone, and when I'm on my phone I'm mostly kind of AFK or doing something else, and the auto battle feature is absolutely terrific, because then if you get engaged mid-match and you have to just stop what you're doing, the auto battle feature will sort itself out on its own. And when you have the Ultimate Dead Knight in your lineup, you don't really need to worry about looking down at your phone after 2 minutes and seeing the defeat screen. It just wins games completely on its own. But if that's not enough for you, you can use the link in the description or scan the QR code on the screen. You will instantly get a huge starter pack with the epic hero Fayne, and if you keep playing the event up until level 15, you will get the epic hero Tayrel as well. But we're not done yet. Use the code UDKING or any of these other ones to get a legendary hero of your choosing, to give yourself an incredibly powerful starter kit to breeze past the start of this game. After we're done playing the event, we come back to the match and we see multiple people flying directly in front of us. And even though these missiles are incredibly mid, the sky flashes are still going to be the most reliable way for you to get kills. They're pretty hard to flare because, well, you can't, and most people at this battle rating don't know that they can roll these radar missiles. So very often you'll find yourself just flying into head-ons and getting 1 to 2 free kills. Just be careful that you don't fire these off from too long of a range, because the range of these isn't that terrific, but the same also goes for running into certain planes like the F4S, which you can roll, or MiG-23MLs, which you can't roll. These R24s are absolutely diabolical, and when you see MiG-23M on your radar, you better pray that it's a MiG-23M, not an ML or an MLD, because R24s will ruin your day. The R23s aren't that much of an issue. You do want to still treat them with care, because a MiG-23 is just overall the better plane. But when you run into Russian radar missiles, the likelihood of you surviving are pretty slim. The hard to notch, the hard to chaff, because they of course have pulse Doppler radar. And overall, it's not a very enjoyable experience. So I try to stay clear of these RWR warnings. But if they are locking you, and that's why you're getting the warning, the likelihood of you getting away from them is pretty unlikely. The issue is, when you have 6 missiles, you are likely never going to be getting more than 6 kills unless you get a very lucky collab. We don't have a gun. Good aim does not matter. We just need to be patient and wait for people that are very clearly not paying attention. The MiG-21 here gets shot at from below. He's engaging someone else, and the likelihood of him looking right at me are slim to none. The issue is, when you kill someone, sometimes you might get spotted. The F5 directly below us looks to be flying right at us, but he actually goes back down because he isn't paying attention. So we switch back from the radar lock to the AIM-9L, we shoot the missile off, he has no idea that it's there, and it ends up collecting him directly on the tailpipe. Second F5, this time around he does pitch up, and we do exactly what we tried to do to the previous one. Take number 2, works out pretty decently, and that's 3 kills in the first engagement that we basically got. 2 F5s, which are a pretty big threat, and a MiG-21 who is also a bit annoying to deal with. We now have 2 A5s directly in front of us on the deck, 1 MiG-21 that's engaging them, and all the other enemies are kind of spread out. The MiG-21 starts to ride the A5, the other A5 starts to depart the area, and at this point I could have shot the AIM-9L, but I was expecting my friendly to shoot a missile, and he did. He flares, and even though I'm third partying and the A5 might not see me, he ended up flaring the missile that the MiG-21 shot, and would have accidentally flared my missile as well. Luckily that guy has a very low amount of countermeasures, and while the MiG-21 basically has the skill in the bag, I want to be here just in case. And I noticed that the MiG-21 kind of starts to fly in front of us, he breaks off, and when that happens, I'm gonna start shooting the missile off. So I thought here that the MiG-21 kind of broke off because it was about to overshoot, except he broke off to just get a little bit more space to get a good gunshot in. I shouldn't really have shot that because I didn't need to. The A5 was already dead, and even though I got a kill out of it and I didn't waste my missile, I still kind of wasted a missile because that guy would have been dead regardless. Now here we have 2 missiles left. One of them is a radar missile, which is actually pretty okay when you get down tiered like this. So I start to fly towards the MiG-23 as well as the MiG-21. Now luckily it's a MiG-23M, and he only has R-23Ts, so we don't really have to worry about him in the head-on. So we lock him up, we wait for him to get a little bit closer, and then we shoot our own sky flash off. Now he can roll this if he does it properly. Luckily for us, he does not. The MiG-21 then turns around and flies away, goes head-on with an A-10 and wasted his life. And we now notice an F4 on the RWR, and he's about to cross over the horizon here. There he is. He's a little bit low, but he's not low enough, and he's about to fly over a little bit of a deflate in the terrain. So we shoot up a missile over the terrain. He tries to dip inside of it, he doesn't multipad properly, and he ends up collecting it directly on the forehead. And then lastly we have the F-104 that went back to base for no apparent reason, but he took back off again. One of my friendlies just got killed by a VT1, and we are about to not do the same thing. We are trying to get a little bit more separation. I'm trying to F-pull the VT1 launcher even. I'm waiting for the F-104 to get a little bit closer. Missile comes off the rail, and at this point I'm actually a little bit too close, so I am just gonna be sending it. 5 kilometers, missile out, and that F-104 is not gonna do anything to that one unless he rolls it properly. He does not. He breaks mag, and the VT1 breaks my wing. We go into a bit of a flat spin, but just like before, even though we are this time around not an unmanned drone, we survive the match anyway, because we never die. Here we go again. After flying around for 5 minutes doing absolute bum all, we reach an F4 EJ, and we're about to get an absolute terrific kill feed because we basically kill 16 enemy units. Unfortunately, most of these are M117s. Now, after killing the F4E, we are gonna be chasing the SU-25. And now this is not necessarily the most dangerous opponent you can run into, but because we don't have a gun and because they do have a lot of countermeasures, they're kind of annoying to deal with. Now, when people are flying above 50 meters, they aren't multipathing. Right now, he probably is. I'm at 214 meters, and because it's decently hard to gauge how high he actually is, we are about to actually start multipathing ourselves and check if he is flying below or above us. Right now, however, the radar signature is kind of in the water, so I'm not really feeling shooting the missile right now. It's probably not gonna go down all too well, so we are gonna try to get right behind him, and we can tell that he's above 50 meters because he's at about the same altitude as we are. We dip underneath him and we now can very clearly see that he is, so we fire off the missile after we get close enough. Now I notice that he starts pitching up for the mountain range, so we shoot off the missile, but you can tell that these missiles are absolutely terrible. In a cool aspect, it's better to not just shoot them at all most of the time. I'm gonna try it again anyway, because I do want to start engaging the other SU-25, and you can tell that this time around he is not chaffing, he's not flaring, and thus the missile does track cold, but it's incredibly easy to defeat a Skyhawk or Skyflash when they are shot from behind. I wait here for his periodical flares to start running out, but he didn't actually run out, he just stopped pressing the key. My missile goes apeshit into the flares, and we turn around and kill him by pure aura alone. Unfortunately, 6 missiles doesn't always mean 7 kills, and now we are again flying around for 4 minutes doing nothing. We reach the first MiG-23 that isn't paying attention, drop a 9L from the heavens, he is not really seeing it, and we are about to collect our first free kill. It's a severe. J-7 comes in, we lock him up, we notice he's smoking, not sure what it is, hopefully he's not looking at us. Looks like it doesn't really matter because he is severed anyway. We are just gonna collect our free kill. That is aircraft finished off. I didn't really do anything there, but we get another kill, so I am not going to be complaining. And once again, I want to show you just how terrific these AIM-7 Sky Flashes are. And it says dogfight. Don't worry, you're never gonna be using these in a dogfight because they are just something else. Now here we can tell that he is somewhat in a notch, so I'm waiting for him to turn in or out. He starts turning in a little bit, we shoot off the Sky Flash, and the missile doesn't even track the enemy. It goes straight for the J-7. AIM-9L gets flared absolutely last second, we merge with him, we go up and over. And just like with the previous guy that we failed to missile, we are gonna start looking at him in a very angry fashion and kill him by pure aura alone. He tries to flare the mountain. Unfortunately, the mountain isn't a heat-seeking missile and hits him anyway. And that's all I have for you today. Use the code UDKING in the description to sign up for Raid Shadow Legends. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.